Hey strong people, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com, and this episode of Strong Talk is brought to you by store.startingstrongman.com. Go there for all of your strongman training needs, including my book, How to Train Strongman in a Regular Gym. So a bit of strongman news. The Arnold Classic is, 7-8 weeks away at this point, and we have some news, the preliminary rules, and event schedule, and just some basic breakdowns of some of the events and new information on the events. Courtesy was sent to me by Jan Todd, and you know that she and her late husband Terry Todd, they started the Arnold way back when, and just truly pioneers of strength sports. And you go watch the video I did with interviewing Bill Kazmar on this channel for some more talk on just everything Terry Todd and Jan have done for the sport of strongman. It's pretty remarkable. So on to the rules. These are the preliminary rules and events. There's always a little bit subject to change. This was sent out on December 30th to athletes, people involved in it, and somehow me. So thank you for that. I appreciate being included and being able to spread all of this so fans of the sport can know a little bit more what's going on. So on the order of the competition, it says lot numbers will be drawn on Thursday at the meeting to see who kind of goes first in the second event, because the first event is going to be the Rogue Elephant Bar Deadlift, and that's determined on what your first attempt is. You go, in whoever picks the lightest goes first. So another interesting thing it says is at the end of the contest, if there's a tie for first place overall, they will use the Louis Cyr dumbbell as a tiebreaker event. So that's great that there's already a tiebreaker in place. So event one, the Rogue Elephant Bar Deadlift. Big talk on if someone can deadlift more than 500 kilos. It's Rogue is offering, Rogue's offering, $50,000 if anyone breaks that. And it says, basic rules for this event. One, we will use the rounds system this year for Arnold Strongman Classic Deadlift Competition. In the round system, all 10 men will do their first attempts in order based on weights chosen. Then the bar goes back down in weight, and all 10 men will do their second attempts. And then all 10 men take their third attempt. So this is different from just the rising bar format of you just go in whenever it's your turn. This is more like a powerlifting style where they're doing it like there's just one flight of 10 people. Everyone does their first, then the bar gets lowered to whatever it is. So you don't end up following yourself. It's going to make it take a lot longer. I don't think it's quite as good from the crowd standpoint, but I think they're setting it up in this way to give the athletes the best chance at actually deadlifting more than 500 kilos and breaking that record. What's the other interesting news? Yeah, it says before the contest begins, you'll be given a piece of paper on which to write your first attempt. The expediter will note the time when she gave you the paper, and then you'll have 10 minutes to turn your first weight. If you do not turn in your first attempt at the end of 10 minutes, your first attempt will automatically become 751 pounds / 340 kilos at the lowest possible starting weight. This cannot be changed. Following your first and second attempts, the lifter has 120 seconds, 2 minutes, to give their next attempt. So there's a lot less of this gamesmanship that's going to be able to go on with athletes kind of waiting this guy out. There's been stuff in the past, I believe, of athletes kind of really waiting to give their attempt and then, kind of skipping. So this athlete gave them, they give another kilo higher, switching it after another athlete, stuff like that. So this will be a lot more straightforward as far as that goes. So the special event, this is what I really want to focus on here, and I think a lot of people want to know. The Rogue Record Breakers 50,000 Deadlift Challenge. Following the completion of the official Arnold Strongman Classic Deadlift Contest, the top 3 finishers in that contest are invited to attempt to try and break the all-time strongman deadlift record, 500 kilos / 1,102.3 pounds, set by Eddie Hall in 2016. So they're, acknowledging that that's the biggest strongman deadlift of all time and putting Rogue Elephant Bar in the same category. Personally, I don't care if it's broken on the Rogue Elephant Bar. I think it still would count as the biggest strongman deadlift of all time. I know there's a lot of talk on which one's easier. That could be a whole separate video. I think I've actually covered that before. Let's see. So this is a whole separate contest. And it says the top 3 finishers, so whoever finished 1, 2, 3 in the actual deadlift gets a chance at the 500 kilo, at the deadlift challenge. It also mentions if someone decides to try and break the record within the ASC contest, say on a 3rd attempt, we will still hold this contest to allow the other qualifiers to also try the lift. So if you end up thinking you're in 4th and you just want to go for it, that's something that could happen. But I don't think it's going to get broken in the actual contest. I think, they're trying for the overall title. There's good money in that, and if you're getting there's going to be a little break in between, and you'll have that chance to go for it. So it does. If someone gets a higher deadlift in this, it's not going to change the score of the Arnold Deadlift Contest. This is a special Rogue Record Breakers event and does not impact Arnold Strongman Classic scoring, it says. Yeah, it says, in talking with my co-director Steve Slater and other judges and officials involved with the show, we all wanted to make sure that some men didn't hold back and not go as heavy as they might normally go, so they had more time to rest before the big attempt than the men trying to earn the top points in the deadlift contest. So I imagine that is why it's the top 3. So you still have to place highly in the actual, deadlift contest to have a chance at the record breaker. So it says rules for the event: following the completion of the official ASC deadlift contest, the bar will be loaded to 500.5 kilos. 1,103.4 pounds. The expediter will then ask the 3rd place finisher, number 3, if he wishes to try the weight. If number 3 takes it and misses, the 2nd place finisher will then be offered the chance to take the same weight. If 2 makes it, then the 1st place finisher can choose to take the same weight and tie to split the money, or 1 can ask for the bar to be loaded with an additional 5 pounds, the smallest amount of increase, 2.26 kilos. And attempt 1108.4. If number 1 makes that weight, then number 2 will be offered the chance to take the same weight in order to tie, or he can ask for the bar to raise higher. The bar will only be raised in increments of 5 pounds. If number 3 had passed the opportunity to try 1103.4, and he would be eligible to try the 1108.4 before 2. If 3 made it, then number 2 could either try for the tie or ask for an additional 5-pound increase. Because the record was set in kilos and our plates are in pounds, the possible weights for this event are 500.54 kilos / 1,103.5 pounds, 502.81 kilos, 505.08 kilos, 507.34 kilos, 508.48 kilos. Those are the possible weights, and that last one's 1,121 pounds. Anyways, on to event 2. A new event, the Husafeld Stone Carry. This is going to be, okay, so also, just to go over the schedule, the first event, the Rogue Elephant Bar Deadlift, is Friday afternoon, Main Stage Expo Center, 3 to 4:15 p.m. Then event 2, the Husafeld Stone Carry, will be Friday afternoon, Main Stage Expo Center. Max distance wins the event, 60-second time limit to begin walking, weight 409 pounds. There's a little infographic. I'm going to share all of this on startingstrongman.com. And again, this is courtesy of Jam Todd. So it says, Our hope is to replicate as closely as possible the feel of lifting the actual Husfeld stone in Iceland. For this reason, no special grip gear is permitted in this event. Each competitor will pick up the Husfeld stone replica and carry it around a track on the expo stage that has the same dimensions as the green image at the right. This is a max distance event and there's no time limit as long as you're walking. Rules for the event, 1 and 2. The event begins with the Husfeld stone flat on the floor, approximately 4 feet behind the starting line. We'll mark the floor with an X. For the rock placement, the strongman stands behind the stone and the head judge blows a whistle. You have 60 seconds to pick up the stone and begin walking. It says if you drop it before passing the starting line, you can pick it back up. So be careful not to allow the stone to roll over the starting line. If the athlete can't go past that, in the starting line, if they can't pick it up within those 60 seconds, they get a 0. Competitors may not rest the stone on the top of the belt during the carry. The stone can be pressed against the belt, but the edge of the belt or buckle cannot be supporting the stone. If seen doing so, the attempt is over. Competitors may not wear grip shirts or any kind of arm protection for this event other than long sleeve t-shirts. No tacky of any sort, including spray tacky, is allowed on the stone or any part of the body or the clothing. Tacky towels and lifting chalk will be provided. So they are allowing tacky towels. These grip aids are permitted. Event 3, another new event, and this is insane. I'm thinking this is the biggest strongman implement of all time. That's ever been specifically made for strongman, like other than pulling a plane, which obviously has other uses than people pulling it for a strongman competition. The Wheel of Pain, Saturday afternoon convention center floor, amateur strongman area, because they need a big area for this thing. So I don't know how that coincides with the time for the amateur strongman competing on Saturday, but good news if you are, you won't have to go far to see this. So this is pretty cool. It says, great progress has been made on the design of the Wheel of Pain by the engineering staff at Rogue Fitness. On the left is a screenshot of the original wheel in Conan the Barbarian. On December 12th, Bill Henniger of Rogue posted an early schematic on his Instagram feed showing one of their designs to create something similar. In the screenshot on the right, the long poles going out from the center are 14-inch pine logs, and the distance across from one side of the wheel to the other is about 38 feet. The final version will also have rope at the joints, and the arms will be set at several different heights to accommodate the fact that our competitors are not all the same size, so they'll be at different heights so they can push against it. They can push against it, at different levers. They're not, this guy's super low, this one's too tall, and he can't drive into it, which is very thoughtful by them. There will also be a central pillar going up that will make the entire apparatus about 35 feet tall. So this thing's 38 feet wide, and it's a circle by 35 feet tall. That's a building. I just want a gym that big. So the resistance on this giant colossal implement will be supplied by several Rogue snails. It was an apparatus used in recent CrossFit games, but the snails will not be seen once the full apparatus is made. They'll be contained, I guess. There's the important thing about them for this event, that each snail has a series of chambers inside of it, and this can be filled with sand that shifts from compartment to another as it rolls, making it virtually impossible to build up momentum. So this is going to be like, whew, and it's just going to thud and stop. Absolutely, it's going to be interesting. So there's no momentum. You're not going to be able to speed through this event. This thing sounds like it's just going to be a grind the entire way. For this reason, we're keeping the pushing time to 60 seconds. Sounds brutal. So you have 60 seconds to push this thing as far as possible, or as many turns, because you're not really going anywhere. They'll share more details as it goes. It says, they'll be testing the event before the contest, of course, and they will also be designing a special floor to help with the athlete's footing. So they're really thinking of every step. Each competitor will have 60 seconds to push the apparatus as far as possible. The arms on the wheel will be at different heights, and it is okay to move to a different arm within your 60 seconds of time. If you're not making progress at a certain position, no additional time is given for moving to a new bar. So that's a strategy. If you feel like you picked it's not moving, you can go to a different height and see if you're getting better leverage from that standpoint. No tacky is allowed, just their tacky towels and lifting chalk. It says, and this is the one I feel is interesting, it says you may lean against the poles as well as use your hands, and you can even try pushing with your back, because this is new territory for the Arnold Strongman Classic, so bring your full barbarian strength. So this is just going to be who adapts to the challenge fast. It sounds like you can push your back into the implement and walk your feet that way versus going forward. So we're going to see a whole bunch of different things being tried because it's never been done. And that's what I think is really cool with Strongman. It's not who's trained specifically on this implement for the last year and a half and has gotten so proficient at it that it's just that. It's a thinking man's sport on who can utilize their strength and their body awareness, to just really, get their. It's a part of strength is knowing how to use your body and adapt it to different and new skills. All right, event 4, the Austrian Oak. That's on Saturday afternoon, the expo stage from 3 to 4:30. 90-second time limit. The Austrian Oak, they use the 2 logs. The large log weighed in at approximately 430 pounds / 195 kilos. Same weight as it was in 2017. It's been as high as I think around 450. It's a wooden log, and it's one of that's with that much wood. There's a big variance in how much it weighs. So I'd say that's on the lighter side of what it normally is. The small log, they call I think the feather, will be 385 pounds, so 175 kilos. There's not rushed, I think, because it's the last event of a day. And you get a choice to just go straight to the feather or try the big one first. Even if you miss, you're able to go into the feather. Not too much to talk about in that, other than it's a 90-second time limit, but we've seen this event before, so it's pretty standard. And then the last event of the day, unless there's a tie, is the stone to shoulder. It's going to be, the same stone we saw last year. It says that's in the Saturday evening in the Battelle Hall. I think that's where the pro bodybuilding finals is as well, how the last event usually is. 410 pounds / 186 kilos. It says the aim of the contest is to lift Oudhaugen's famous tombstone from the platform to a stationary position on top of the shoulder as many times as possible with a 2.5-minute time limit. Because it says there's 30 seconds to lap, then 2 minutes to go. So it's kind of a 2.5-minute time limit. The stone can be lifted from the floor straight to the shoulder. It can be lapped up and then hitched up the torso body, like kind of, going here and here and here, or straight to the shoulder. The other arm must then be extended away from the body, either to the side or to the front, here, with one still here. At that point, the judge will give down signal and the lifter will drop the stone onto a pad directly in front of them. Spotters will help reposition the stone. The strongman will then attempt to lift it again. The goal is to complete as many reps as possible inside the time period. Points will be awarded. This is slightly different. Points will be awarded at 3 positions during the lift to help break ties. 2 stopwatches will be used for this event, one to measure 30 seconds and the other the full 2.5 minutes. Oh, okay. The lifter has 30 seconds to lap the stone. If he does not lap it within 30 seconds, his time is up and he cannot continue the event. And I imagine he gets a 0. If he does lap it, then he has the remainder of his 2.5 minutes. So if you pick it up in 5 seconds, you have, 2 minutes and 25 seconds to keep earning points. So lapping is now 1 point. Getting stone to chest is 2 points, and getting stone to shoulder and extending one arm is 4 points. Where I think last year, if you broke it off the floor, it was a point. If you got it to your lap, it was a point. If you got it to your chest, it was 3 points, then 5 or something. So it's a little different. You're not getting points this year for just breaking it off the floor. Last year, they didn't even know if anyone would pick it up off the floor. They assumed, but they have to throw those caveats in there. But yeah, no tacky or any sort. I think it says Strongman grip shirts will be provided as part of this year's uniform, but no other grip shirts may be worn. Long sleeve shirts may be worn, and one standard length neoprene sleeve on each arm is permitted. No solid arm guards of any side may be worn on the forearms. So interesting, especially on the new events and the Rogue $50,000 deadlift challenge, how that's all going to be done. I hope this video is helpful. Of course, check out the Arnold Sports Festival and Arnold Strongman Classic. There's also going to be a last chance qualifier January 19th, I believe, down in Santa Monica, and there's tickets available for that, whether it's in like 2 weeks, to see who, it's kind of to decide who the last 3 people in the Arnold are. So I'm going to be trying to go to that. Of course, you can follow me at Let Kalle Lift, follow at Starting Strongman. Hit like and subscribe. Go to patreon.com/Starting Strongman to get videos and all this a little quicker and help me do more of this. And good luck in your training, and let me know your thoughts on the events for the Arnold Classic.